Hey everyone, and welcome to The Witcher 1 Lorethrough, part 28. I thought I'd just get myself over to where the trophy mob is, but I also ran into Kikimors on the way there, and I figured that maybe you'd want to see those, because I don't think you've seen those before. Have you seen those before? I don't think you've seen those before. I think those are new. They're annoying. And you're gonna get very annoyed by them eventually. Until, you know, you kind of get to one-shot them. But they also very much hurt. And I think I have to fight one later on as well, alongside a druid, and these things really hurt. Or well, they would at least, if they got a chance to attack. Which they don't. Also ding. There, now you've seen a Kikimor. Did I cut the rest out? Where am I? Yeah, I should cut the rest out. I'll see you there. Right, so we've actually made it to the place where the wolves are, and where the wolf is also one large wolf called Voref, and that is the trophy monster that I thought was also in chapter 2, but doesn't really spawn until chapter 3, which is right now. I'm gonna take his head. And that is, in case anyone's wondering, because there's actually another trophy mob right over there. They're both here. Yeah, this is where the other one is. So if you're doing this quest at all, if you're gonna go into this chapter, this is where I am right now. That's where the wolf is, and this is kind of where the other one is, as far as I know. Can you guys go away so I can loot the thing? Enough is enough. Are you all dead already? Oh, you are. Can you stop walking backwards, considering there's more trophy mobs that way and I can't even loot that one yet? I think you can already kind of see it. There's a lot more royal wyverns there now than there were before. And I can't do anything with that yet because I don't have slots for that. So, where are you? Oh, for goodness sakes. I really wasn't kidding about them getting annoying. And I also don't really know why they sprout out here after you enter chapter 3. It's like magic happened and now Kikimors. For reasons. And also still drowners and things like that. Can you dead yet? Can you be dead yet? Thank you. So, Voref, your head, please. Which one is it? You're not it. You're not it. You're it! There, wolf's head. And just for the sake of it, I'm gonna show you what the other one is. No, Geralt, keep that out so you can run. And that's over there. You can already see it. It's Moa. Moa is the other mob. Right across on the Wyvern Island. I swear I have to kill royal wyverns for something at one point, but I don't know what anymore. So now we're gonna go back. What's fastest? You would say that the tower is still fastest, wouldn't you? I think you would. Yeah, okay, so I'll portal back to town, and I'll get back to you again. Right, so halfway through my trip to the tower, I remembered that there is actually another thing that happens at the docks, which is a quest that I talked about before, so I went to the docks instead, so you can see that, so I don't accidentally skip it because I'm an idiot. So here we are. Yes, that is Carmen. That is that Carmen. Hello, Carmen. Put away your sword, Geralt.
I had to come here.
What's wrong?
I can't bring myself to say it.
You seem distressed and scared. Maybe I can help, but you'll have to tell me what's wrong.
My man... he's sick. I have to help him before it's too late. He's a werewolf and I don't want him killed.
Werewolves are tough to kill, and witchers don't always kill monsters. Whenever possible, we lift curses and spells. How are you planning to help him?
Fat Sophie told me the Druids may have a potion I could buy.
That's possible.
Witcher?
It's also not true, but you know. Don't wander about. You'll be killed before you find them. Aren't you afraid of swamp monsters? Aren't you?
Aren't you afraid of swamp monsters?
I've handled worse in the slums. I carry a knife.
A word of advice. If anything attacks, run. Don't fight. The swamp monsters are hungry and dangerous.
Witcher?
But also, I'll do it for you, so I just gave you advice for no reason. Hey!
The swamp's too dangerous. I'll ask the druids for medicine for you.
Thank you. I'll wait at home. The building opposite the tavern in the slums.
Hope, sweet home. But yeah, surprise, surprise, it doesn't actually help. The druids, that is. And I'm gonna have to do this thing myself instead. And it's gonna have a super cheesy ending, but it's the best ending anyway. And there's also several ways that you can go with that quest. But I'll tell you about that once we actually see everything else, so I don't spoil it before that happens, because I tend to do that, because I talk too much. Okay, gonna walk over there. I'll see you there. Right, so we gotta ask, I think it's just the Hierophant. I think everyone else is just not caring.
Welcome.
Greetings.
Welcome.
Do my eyes play tricks? Is it Geralt, the famed White Wolf?
'Tis I.
Indeed. How do you know me?
I'm famous.
I've
no.
heard about you from our friend Mousesack.
I lost my memory and don't remember Mousesack.
A pity. Perhaps I can help, if you stay for a few years.
I must attend to urgent matters.
Yes.
In other words, I don't want to stay here with you. Mousesack, real quick. You probably don't know him as Mousesack if you've not read the books, but you have played The Witcher 3, because you meet Mousesack in The Witcher 3. It's Ermion. Oh my god. Yes, it's him. And Mousesack or Ermion, or, both. I don't actually know why they translate it differently, but yeah. That guy, the druid from Skellige, actually went with... I gotta get this right now. There was a delegation, basically, that went to ask for Pavetta's hand from Skellige, and there was Dregbondu, the bard, and there was Mousesack, the druids, and there was, a bunch of Clan Tuasak people, including, Craig. There we go. Krakan Crate. And there was also, I can't remember his name right now, but he married Kalantha afterwards. I can never do that with names from Skellige for some reason, but yeah, Mousesack was one of them. And he actually became good friends with Geralt at that point. I think he might have already been there. But anyway, he also gets along quite well with Ciri. As you might know, that Ciri sometimes went to Skellige back and forth, because they're kind of tight there. She's also kind of partially ruler of Skellige, somewhat a little bit through the blood of Kalantha, not really. You know what I mean? So, Mousesack is just a friend of the family. Let's just call him a friend of the family. And he's a nice guy, and I think he actually also finds Ciri at one point. I can't remember exactly that point, but you run into him at one point. How many times are you going to say at one point, Jinsey? You run into him, and Ciri at that point I think was already running away. And was with Geralt and everything, and Mousesack was like, is this a good idea? And he just lets him go. He's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. I think that's all you could say. You don't really see that much of him. You meet him and that's it. He has a bigger role in The Witcher 3, to be really honest. He's also not really seen as being super powerful. It's not like, oh, Mousesack, the great and powerful druid of Skellige. No, he's just a dude. I guess he got more powerful since then. Good for him, I guess. But yeah, that's him. That's Ermion. It's Ermion. Ermion the Mousesack. Now you're going to have to call him Mousesack for the rest of the time. Anyway, we have mutual friends, question mark.
Mutual friends?
You might say so. My former poker partner, Mousesack, mentioned you. It has been a while since we last met.
I play. So we might sit down to a game sometime.
Perhaps we
could
shall.
Indeed play.
We could indeed
They
play.
say you're clever. Let's see.
I am very clever, thank you very much. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna... This guy. I'm gonna go and take his money first. I'll be right back. Right, I took his money. Well, some of it anyway.
Yeah.
Now we can talk about the rest. What do you think of the Scoia'tael? I hate them all.
What do you think of the Scoia'tael?
I'm uninterested in political conflicts. The Druids prevail because we possess nothing that kings covet. They, in turn, know we pose no threat to their power.
They may disapprove of you sheltering Scoia'tael.
We help all those in need as long as they respect our customs. The elves respect and understand nature.
And humans do not.
Not all, sadly. Rivers near cities are befouled with waste. Once great forests are logged without restraint. Animals that once thrived have become scarce.
I see.
Yes?
Actually, fun fact, in the books, there's several instances of druids petitioning kings to save nature, basically. And there's one of them that goes to, I don't even remember where he went, but he went to a king, and he was like, you need to stop fishing so much. You're overfishing, and then in a bunch of years, you're gonna have no fish anymore. And the kings just sort of laugh him out of town. I think he was also, I think he might have been naked and covered in fishing nets or something like that. He looked a bit crazy, but he did have a point, and the kings laughed him out of town because he's like, oh, look at the sea. It's full of fish. And he's like, yeah, but in a bunch of years, that's not going to be that way. But, they didn't care. They're activists, basically. Druids are activists. Top notch. Another instance, actually, of that same thing is when the Druids started, I think either they went on strike or they started protecting the forest, basically. In the Northern Realms, there is this one particular type of wood that is used a whole lot for everything. And at one point, the Druids were like, you gotta stop. And then they made it impossible to cut any wood, which made other wood that was imported much, much more expensive. Yeah, that's right. It's just a modern tale. It's modern fantasy. What this is.
I come on behalf of a woman whose beloved transforms into a werewolf. She wishes to find a cure.
You're a witcher. You should know how to treat lycanthropy.
Yeah, we kill
I
it.
may have known once, but I can no longer recall the method.
I know several cures for lycanthropy, though I've not put any to the test myself.
What of a magical cure? An elixir?
I know not how to prepare one. You should question an experienced alchemist. I have heard a shirt made with fool's parsley may help.
Really?
Really?
Yes. Gather 5 leaves of fool's parsley and tell the woman to weave them into a shirt. Then her lover should wear it for the night.
Thanks for the advice.
There is also one folk remedy. I'm embarrassed to mention it, but it is said pure, unconditional love changes beasts into men.
I'll remember that too.
Remember this. Lycanthropy is a disease that penetrates ever deeper. Before endeavoring to remove the curse, you must make sure the werewolf is still a man at heart.
Why?
If he is not, he'll continue the slaughter, even once cured, remain nothing more than a monster.
I see. I'll try to learn the werewolf's identity.
Yes?
It's actually a pretty funny one, and he kind of already dropped a hint at one point. We've already met him. So, in case, you can go and figure out who that is yourself if you might want to think back. It's the second one that works. Obviously the shirt's not gonna work.
Farewell.
What the hell is that? Doesn't work. No, it has to be unconditional love. And that's that. And now, where's Yavin? Because I want to say hello. Yavin. Yavin! I know you're in here. Somewhere. Did you already leave? I know you didn't. Because we ran in here and I know I saw you. Oh, there you are. You sleeping beneath a tree? That is so elf of you.
Kedmail Wolf, a pleasure to see you.
And you?
How's everything with you?
We suffocate in the shackles placed upon us by our human oppressors.
I'm not one of your zealots, Yavin. Spare me.
I jest, though there's truth in what I say. But we defeated the Order in the swamp and are gradually emerging from the forests.
You don't stand a chance in open battle.
We shall see. But we will not back down now.
That answer always just cracks me up. It's like, we suffer in the shackles. I just wanted to know what your day was like today. What are you doing here? Why aren't you with your elves?
What are you doing here? Why aren't you with your elves?
The Druid's Grove acts as a sanctuary where I can quietly think, lay plans. My going to Vizima presents an unnecessary risk. Part of the unit inside Vizima is accomplishing plenty.
Accomplishing all the things. Why do you hate humans, Yavin?
Why do you hate humans so much, Yavin?
Why? I assume you don't mean ideology and the like, and you would rather hear some dark secret from deep within my soul.
I do love
You
souls.
assume correctly.
I'll answer your question if you answer mine.
Go on. Agreed.
Agreed.
I once lived in a city among humans. I was honest and courteous, respected all their ridiculous customs and laws. Assimilation. I lived that word for years, and during that time I was cheated, sneered at, on occasion beaten and robbed. I felt no hatred for humans. In fact, I felt better than them. I told myself they were simply incapable of controlling their weaknesses, their flaws. I was robbed 3 times as often as others. Racist slogans were painted on my door in excrement. For years I wondered why. Was I doing something wrong? What could I do to bring peace to my life? And you know what I came to understand?
No, but I'm sure you'll tell me.
I was doing nothing wrong. I'd been lying to myself from the outset. Just as the moon will never catch the sun, so humans will never change. They will remain egotistical, envious, petty, and fearful of anything they don't understand. And believe me, there's plenty. Matters proceeded quickly thereafter, but that's another story.
Now you resemble humans.
No, Geralt, definitely not. And you, Witcher? Who are you? You too have experienced human ignorance and hatred.
And that is why I don't hate Yavin. Because this is exactly what you see in the books in... There's a city in the books called Edginvale. I think that actually already means Shard of Ice or something. I think they tell you what it means. Anyway, Edginvale is again a city... Hello, Moran. A city built by humans on top of an elven already existing city, basically. Every beautiful city by the humans is actually built by elves. Hurrah! And in this particular city, there are still elves and half-elves that fulfill certain positions within the government and things like that. And there's also, on the walls, there are letters painted like, elves to the reservations and things like that, and everyone's openly racist against elves, and it's like, it's the most aggravating thing to read ever. Which is why I always side with the Squirtle, because they're hella right. And I can't wait for them to take a portal the hell out of this world. Go do it, do the thing. Let's see, I don't look down, I don't generalize, humans are how they are, and I'll make no effort to change or find them, I'll adapt. Well, Yavin has tried that, and he just told you where that went. You're trying to make the sun stand still. To me, elves hardly differ from humans. I don't understand you, and I don't like your arrogance. You dream of a lost time that will never return no matter how many Dwan you slay. That's why they leave. I'm as much an outcast as you, Yavin. I see your point, but I have no interest in torching human villages. That's more like Geralt, I guess. Because there are times in the books where Geralt does, in fact, he doesn't look down on them, but he does feel contempt for them. And at some points he's like, I hate all humans! And then after that's like, okay, maybe not all humans are terrible. Because, you know, people like Dandelion and Milva, they're nice people, right? They're good, Shani. They're excellent human beings. But you know, this doesn't work. You can't do this. The whole I'll adapt evolution thing, that doesn't work if it's been going on for this long and nothing has changed. Even when there are actually activists for this sort of things. There are people within the humans, the societies, that do actually side with elves, so to speak. So, for example, actually, speaking of Edginvale, they had a sorcerer living in there who used to date Yennefer as well. Estrid, I think his name was. And he was very much a proponent of elves and their culture. He really enjoyed rummaging through elven ruins and things like that. And he was a powerful mage. So it's not like there's no humans that like them, but the point is more that the elves don't have the time. And how do I explain this? Because elves don't procreate as quickly, they are basically doomed no matter what they do. Because, okay, let's look at it this way. There are 1,000 elves. Let's just say there's 1,000 elves still left. And the humans, the population is increasing exponentially, right? They're just... Well, look at our world. We are facing overpopulation in certain parts already. And they actually start having that trouble in the Witcher world as well, because near the end of the books, the Lodge talks about this like, oh, there's too many humans, there's so many humans, what are we going to do about that? There might be famine and things like that. So there are 1,000 elves and there's a ton of humans and they're all increasing in population, but the elves are not. They mostly either stay at the same stable level of population, so let's just say 1,000. Obviously there's more than 1,000, but you know, let's just say 1,000. And those 1,000 don't become 1,001, 1,002. They don't. They decrease. So over the years, because of the Squirtle fighting, because of wars, because of also just poverty among elves and things like that, just blatant racism and just killing on the street, things like that, the population only really is going to decrease. And they can't fill up the numbers, so to speak. And even if you are going to assimilate, and I realize that I'm going on a tangent about elves right now, but hear me out. Even if they do assimilate, when you look at the Witcher games that we have right now, and you look at how the elves are living, how many elves are still attacked and killed just by peasants that don't agree with them? For example, in The Witcher 3, there's this elven woman who's being burned to death if Geralt doesn't come along in her house by a bunch of people that want her money. Okay? And just people people killing elves. Just because they hate elves. Not because an elf has particularly done anything to them. Maybe it was an elf that is just living with them. And then there's Radovid, who just kills non-humans non-stop regardless. No matter where you go, it's like, oh, there's a non-human. They're probably to blame for, you know, diseases and famine altogether. When you look at the Rivia pogrom as well. It's just, we hate non-humans, torch them all! And that just goes on. It just goes on and goes on like that. So even if they assimilate, they're still targeted. They are still blamed for everything because they're non-humans, because they're not understood. And yes, elves do sometimes feel a bit high and mighty, but let's be real. A lot of the human inventions right now in the Witcher world are based on elves. Either that, or then sorcerers that have come after that have been taught by elves in the first place. The elves taught them magic all the way at the start. So it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Saying I'll adapt evolution, Yavin, I'm a high and mighty witcher, doesn't work. Because you don't understand this. Geralt, if you say things like this, it makes me think you don't understand. Why don't you understand? It means the elves are doomed. Is what I'm trying to say. It means the elves are doomed if they stay in this world, in whatever capacity. If they assimilate, they'll still slowly go extinct. If they keep fighting, they'll still slowly go extinct. They will go extinct no matter what they do if they stay in this world. Which is also why, in one of the last book, you have a little passage that says the elves leave. Because that's the only thing that makes sense. They gotta go. This world is just, it's... Okay, I don't want to make a comparison to the Zerg from StarCraft, but that is basically what humans are to other races. Just Zerg. Assimilate the planet. We are the Borg, and even if you assimilate, we're still gonna tear out your wiring, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Now you know how I feel about this. Anyway... to me, elves hardly differ from humans. That's also just entirely not true. Just not even just biologically. They differ immensely. Their culture differs immensely. Their language differs immensely. They are so different. You can't just be like, it's just pointy ears. No, it's not just pointy ears. It's a lot more than that. Their entire culture is flipped upside down. It's not even remotely human. Especially their architecture is completely... No, Geralt. No. No, no. The only thing that makes sense out of this entire sentence is, I don't understand you. Yeah, you're damn right you don't. You don't understand them. And you don't like their arrogance, that's fine. But at this point, it's all they have left, isn't it? Because they're driven into the forest. They're driven into slums. They are nothing in the eyes of the world. And that is terrible. You dream of a lost time that will never return no matter how many Dwaan you slay. That's true. That's why they gotta go. Geralt, that's why they gotta go. And then so it's really the third option that you can say. I mean, you have no interest in torching human villages, even though, you know, you did fight for your dwarven friends in the end. Which, we haven't even talked about the dwarves and the gnomes in this case, because we don't know enough about them. But I'm willing to bet that if the dwarves didn't have Mahakam, the gnomes live with them in Mahakam, if that wasn't a thing, and if they didn't make amazing weapons all the time, they'd have been part of all the pogroms, even just in their own hometown, right? Because elves were driven out of their homes. They were driven out of their cities. They don't have their cities anymore. In the end, they had Dol Blathanna only because they traded it basically for blood. So they don't have any cities anymore. The dwarves and the gnomes, the only reason they got to keep Mahakam is because it's almost impossible to besiege that city, and because gnomes and dwarves are master blacksmiths. They make the best weapons, the very best weapons. They are the masters. And elves didn't really have that. They didn't have anything where the humans were like, oh, if we destroy this city, then we won't have elven whatever, you know? But if they destroy Mahakam, then this is actually in the books as well. I think Regis says this. It's like, you'll just flood Mahakam. You'll flood the furnaces and the smeltering, and you'll just move on. And sorry, that was my stream sound. You'll just move on to somewhere else and just start again, because for dwarves, home is where the clan is. For elves, their home is literally a piece of the world, a piece of earth, a land. And, you know, so it's so easy to just completely uproot elves and make them feel terrible about everything. Right? Does that make sense? Okay, so, but if that wasn't the case, then I think dwarves and gnomes would have had it just as bad. they would have also had it just bad. And I don't actually know how their procreation works. I don't know if they can also not have children for the longest time and, that they have problems with that. But I kind of assume so, yeah. And the dwarves that do actually move out of Mahakam are definitely getting racist slurs thrown at their face as well. So it's just as bad. It's just as bad. Okay. Moving on.
I'm as much an outcast as you, Yavin. I see your point, but have no interest in torching human villages.
I like how he just looks away
I'm
like
glad you understand.
I can't
White
even look
Wolf.
at you. Do you have any jobs
Have
for
any
me?
jobs for me?
I have a mission for you. One not entirely related to the struggle for freedom.
Or do you?
Yavin, cut to the chase.
We have learned that the ruins of an elven temple have been found in the sewers beneath Vizima. Not surprising, given the city was erected on elven foundations. We think Lara Doran may have been there, and may have left something behind.
Who?
You will learn everything if you agree to help. I sent a unit there, but I fear something has gone wrong. I need you to find out what happened.
I will absolutely give it a good go. And for the people that don't know this, I think there's some parts of this in The Witcher 3 as well, but Lara Doran is the original Elder Blood gene carrier. So a very, 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 very long back descendant, or... Is that no, that's not descendant. Shit, what do you call that? Ancestor? Yeah, ancestor of Ciri. She started the Elder Blood gene into the human line because she married, instead of marrying an elf, she married a human mage, and that is how Ciri eventually happened. But yeah, that's who Lara Doran is, and she's very important to everyone because she had the Elder Blood gene. So there we go.
I'll see what I can do.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. I like his tone now. Wonderful.
I'd be interested to hear about Lara.
Lara Doran. Ep Sheerdal was an elven sorceress. An N7. A knowing one.
N7.
She carried
N7.
Elder blood, which puzzles even us elves. As fate would have it, Lara fell in love with a human sorcerer, Cregennan of Lod. Other humans could not bear it, and began persecuting them. They became outcasts, shunned by all around them. No pleas would soften the stone hearts of the cruel and merciless Dwan. When Lara, begging mercy not for her but for her unborn child, grabbed the door of the royal carriage, at the king's behest a man-at-arms lashed out with his cutlass, severing her fingers. She fled the city, sought shelter in a forest. When night descended and the frosts came, Lara faded on a hill amidst the trees. She gave birth to a daughter whom she protected with what warmth remained in her waning body. Though a blizzard raged through the night, spring suddenly appeared on that hill, and Fenawed bloomed. Now those flowers grow only in Dol Blathanna, and where Lara breathed her last. You must understand the importance of any artifacts. She was exceptional, someone whose loss defies words no matter what the language.
Okay, a few things. First of all, Fenawed is all over the swamp, so Yavin... And second of all, you have to realize that this is the account of an elf. So there are discrepancies when it comes to the elven version and the human version. The human version says, oh no, Lara was a witch and she was cursing everyone out and God, we hated her for doing that. But our beautiful queen didn't care and she just denied the witch, the horrible elven witch. And honestly, it's probably somewhere in between. I think there's actually one account that does have everything, just the dry facts. And Francesca Findabair does actually tell you just plain how it actually happened. It's kind of in the middle. And it's not just the humans that didn't approve of this bonding, it's the elves as well. So they both hated the couple in general, but the catalyst eventually was that Cregennan of Lod was killed, presumably by human assassins, and this didn't have anything to do with the queen, and this didn't have to do anything to do with any of the leaders on either side. It was just, as far as we know, just a loose assassination, just people that hated him because he was with an elf. And at that point, other humans started to blame Lara Doran for the death of Cregennan of Lod, because they thought it was an elven setup. Even though Lara obviously didn't have anything to do with that. And then at that point she kind of had to flee. Which is very sad. She did in fact die. Poor thing. It's not fair.
Farewell.
Good talk. There was something else I wanted to do. I don't know what anymore. I didn't want to actually talk to Morin, but since you're here, let's say hello.
Windblade.
Windblade.
Farewell.
I'm pretty sure you can still sleep with her as long as you still have wolf pelts. I don't really want to sleep with her again, but you can if you want to. I'm gonna walk back home. Am I gonna walk back home? I'm gonna walk back home. Okay, I'm gonna walk back home. Wanna make a little cut here? No, I think we can go on for... See, at this point, I've already lost track of how long I've been recording that was just walking and not anything else. So I'm gonna go walk back home and at least turn in the trophy so you can still see that. So I'll see you there. Okay, before we actually go there, because I just ran into this desperate merchant.
They say you're a witcher.
They're correct.
And witchers kill beasts for coin?
He's desperate,
Generally, yes.
Witcher?
This is always just a bit jarring. It's like, they say you're a witcher. Oh, I will kill beasts. That's great. Witcher. Yeah, I gotta wait until you ask me about why I'm desperate.
You asked who I was. Have a job for me?
My uncle was slain by swamp monsters. He bore our family ring, which I value greatly. Bring me the ring for 100 orens.
Okay, hold on. I can do that. Yes, I can.
I can do that.
How fortunate to have met you.
I know. Okay, so he asks you for a family ring, and you might now think, oh, that's just from the secret quest you did before. No, it's actually a different family ring. They're both called family ring. I don't know why they did that, but hey,
Where's
there
your
we go.
uncle's body?
We prayed at the chapel. When the monsters attacked, my uncle fled into the swamp near the statue of the goddess.
Farewell.
Farewell. Easy enough to find. I must go to the swamps and find the ring. But first, I'm gonna go and run and get my trophy turned in. So, be right back. I just keep running into people today, man.
Greetings.
Greetings, dwarf.
No pain in your teeth? Schmarz, sein, dentist.
Geralt of Rivia, witcher, immune to cavities.
Right. Witchers slay monsters.
He wants my
Generally,
teeth.
yes. Dentists too, but rarely.
Because I'm a collector of teeth.
You want more teeth?
Want more teeth?
I got more
Certainly.
teeth.
The rarer the better. I'll pay.
So yeah, I have that. This is why
Oh,
I saved some
Remember,
Barghest
they
skulls.
need me monster teeth. I prefer unique specimens with a story to them.
As far as I know, there's only one such tooth that you find.
How
but,
can I
you know.
help ya?
Well, I have a
Of
Barghest skull.
Excellent jaw.
Excellent jaw.
50 orens. I'll have to crush it. My cousin gave me hammers.
Can you stop taking Fistek and just take all of my teeth?
How can I help ya?
And then I can actually finally get rid of them as well.
Interested in Fledder fangs?
Fledders. They have channels for sucking blood.
They do, yes,
100
they
orens.
I have more teeth.
How can I...
People dislike you.
dislike you.
They sneer until their tooth aches. Then they crawl to me.
They do that.
They don't
He's
pull
right.
teeth by themselves?
I don't bother with the gap-toothed ones. They always spit on me.
I found some fangs.
I
Maybe you
already
should just
have
stop
those.
taking drugs.
Damnable cold.
Oh yeah, it's a cold, of
mammoth
course.
Sneeze once caused me to squeeze a patient's tongue with pliers. I can pay you only 25 orens.
That's fine. Still 25 orens.
Take
Until
Is
you
that
get
all
a
I had?
cracked tooth.
No. I will not get any cracked tooth. Actually, Geralt has lost some teeth over time. Am I going the right way for this? I think I am. Am I? Yeah, we don't want to go there yet. Yes, I am. Okay, be right back. Interrupted on my route?
You, stop!
Yes?
Yes.
Your pass.
My
You're
pass.
overdoing it with the passes.
You are.
Complain to the king.
I
He's
will.
returned?
No, but all new edicts bear his seal.
Farewell.
You should remember that.
A witcher.
It's
hide your
important. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so this is where we find the Royal Huntsman. There you are. And he's gonna give us money for our trophies from this point on. At least for now.
Greetings, Witcher.
The outskirts cramping you?
I was ordered back to Vizima. King Foltest is returning soon.
Good for him.
In the meantime, I reward those who tend to public nuisances.
Public nuisances?
Rewards for monsters. Got anything?
Always. What pays well?
Pays well?
A huge wolf has appeared in the swamp, and the locals claim wyverns steal their children.
And eat them.
Wyverns don't hunt humans without provocation.
They don't.
Locals, nothing but trouble. They probably tried to drive the wyverns off.
Why would you do such a thing?
I killed a huge wolf. Here's its head.
Not
Well,
on my table, Mr.
head.
Geralt. Stinks of disease.
It's more like he
Here's
skinned his
600
head.
orens.
Okie dokie,
Farewell.
bye. Thank you for the cash. I am reasonably rich now. I have not broken 10k yet. I'm meh rich now. Anyway, now I'll make a little cut, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. And then The Witcher just crashed. Books? What? No! No, don't read books! Play video games! Okay, well, gonna have to restart that and actually do everything I just did again.